Hello, everyone. I am so excited for this episode of Plug Into Dev, and I want to introduce you to Jenny Kassan. Jenny and I have been friends for a long time, and she is one of the world's truly great minds on the topic of business crowdfunding. I'm talking about investment crowdfunding, not Kickstarter, not Indiegogo, not GoFundMe, but investment crowdfunding. And I know a lot of people don't know much about it, but Jenny Kassan, jennykassan.com, is a world expert. She's one of the owners of crowdfundmainstreet.com and also serves on the board of directors of the Crowdfund Professional Association, a national body that helps with crowdfunding. And anyway, Jenny is the bomb. She's the real deal. I'm excited to introduce you to her. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It is a thrill to have you on the show and to talk about how crowdfunding helps small businesses and can help them even in this crisis, how it helps women and minorities and people who are sometimes left out of an economic system that seems biased against them. Tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. So when it comes to raising money for your business, some people will do rewards-based crowdfunding, but that is really tough because you're competing with a lot of other people. The cost of fulfillment and the cost of getting people's attention is very high. With investment crowdfunding, you can actually offer an investment opportunity, which means you can have people lending you money or investing in equity in your company. So this is very unusual. Not many companies are able to offer that type of thing in exchange for money online on the internet to everyone. Most people, when they invest their money, they invest on the stock market in big, giant, public, multinational companies. So when you can offer that, it's really, really exciting and people will pay attention compared to just when you have a t-shirt or whatever. So it still isn't, not that many companies are doing it yet. It became legal about 4 years ago to do this nationwide. And we are seeing some great statistics. So, for example, we are seeing that actually businesses that are owned by women and people of color on average are doing better than the average with fundraising on these platforms, on these investment crowdfunding platforms. And we are also seeing that during this time of some sort of crazy economic times and times of having to, the people having to stay home because of the pandemic, we're actually seeing a rise in people investing on these platforms. So now is a really good time to be using a platform like this to raise money for your business.
So, Jenny, why? Well, let's start with, I know you are not per se an expert on venture capital because you are an expert in crowdfunding, but tell us about some of the statistics around venture capital that I know you're familiar with for women and minorities especially.
Absolutely. Yeah. So venture capital is the type of investment model that is very popular with high-tech startups. And it involves people who are usually white men raising a bunch of money from people like them to invest in these companies, and they're expecting a really high return very, very quickly. So they're looking for those high growth companies like the next Google, the next Facebook. And in that world, women are raising maybe 3% of the money, and people of color are raising maybe 1% of the money. So you often hear these horribly depressing statistics about that. But the good news is that is just the world of venture capital. There's many other people out there who are not in that world who are interested in investing.
I know that there are a lot of small business owners who are going to listen to this. Give them some advice. The crowdfunding is probably not the solution for everyone. It takes some time. This isn't a way to make payroll this week. Give them some sense of how this fits into their overall strategy to recover from the desperate times that so many small businesses are in.
Yes. Well, I mean, raising money from investors is something that you don't want to just undertake, with trying to slap something together, because it is actually highly regulated. There are lots of laws and rules about how you're allowed to do it. And you also have to think about how you're going to be, what the money is coming in as. Is it debt? Is it equity? What are the rights of your investors? And you really need a lawyer and a coach to help you figure out exactly what that's going to look like. Because if you just grab some document off a shelf, it may not end up being the right thing for you. So it is something that you want to really, get some professional support to do. Make sure you do it right. There are some crowdfunding platforms out there that are a little bit misleading in terms of how easy they say it is. We are finding that a lot of the campaigns that are being posted are actually not compliant, and there's no one who's checking right now. But so you could say, well, who cares if it's compliant, because I can just raise the money and no one's checking. But the problem with that is that does set you up for problems in the future, because if you did a non-compliant offering, that's something you would have to disclose to future investors. It's something you might have to clean up later. You may have to return all the money to your investors. So
that's the one, right?
Yeah. So that's the difficult part of investment crowdfunding, is it does take some extra effort to make sure you're doing it correctly. But the good news is the average that people are raising is about 260,000 compared to what the average people are raising on like a Kickstarter type campaign or rewards-based campaign, where the average is more like 5,000. So it can be very worth it if you want to raise several $100,000 to $1 million. And they may even be raising the cap soon, where you can raise up to 5 million. So you can raise a significant amount, but it's just, you want to make sure and do it right.
This really does seem like, for companies that are shut down and want to get restarted, even if the SBA programs get them through this crisis, they may not have the capital to start back up without something like this. It seems like now might be the time to start thinking about. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think even before this crisis happened, we had a major crisis of undercapitalization of small business. So businesses don't tend to have enough capital, and they often don't really know where to get it. So this is a great source of capital, to make sure, because a lot of businesses think, oh, I can just bootstrap, I can just, take out a second mortgage on my house, I can get a side gig. But that's not really a healthy way to grow a business. And we're really seeing the results of that now. So many small businesses owners were like a week away from running out of cash if something bad happened, and now here we are. So now is a good time to start thinking about a capitalization plan for your business, and using investment crowdfunding is a great way to get there.
Excellent. We've run out of time, Jenny. What's your superpower?
Oh gosh, I love helping entrepreneurs come up with the best way to get their businesses ready for funding, design how they're going to get funded so they have a great relationship with their investors over the long term, and then go out and actually get the money by communicating what's so special about their business.
Oh, fantastic. Jenny, we're thrilled to have you. Before you go, will you tell people how they can find you on the interwebs?
Absolutely, yes. As you said before, jennykassan.com, JennyKassan.com. I have lots of free resources there, and you can also get in touch with me there.
Fantastic. Jenny, thank you very much for being with us. We wish you every success in helping small business owners, especially women and minorities, to recapitalize their businesses after this crisis. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
All righty, let's do some good.
I'm Devin Thorpe. For the last 8 years, I've been working full-time to eradicate extreme poverty, improve global health, and fight climate change. I've concluded that the best way for me to continue my work is to run for Congress to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District. In Utah, we have common shared values. Those things unite us. I believe passionately in our ability to come together And I believe that working together, we can solve Utah's problems. I'm Devin Thorpe. I'm a Democrat. I'm running to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District.
I'm Devin Thorpe, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.